All right, welcome everybody to Big Ben and Ty Sports Cave. I am Ben. Of course, that's Ty back from vacation. Hopefully that went well for you. It sounded like it did. But
Yeah,
also,
that's
thank
fun.
you. Cool. Also, thank you to Jason Wilhite from Wrestling for a Cure for coming on last time's show. Talk about Wrestling for a Cure. We all hope that you can come with us next year to raise money for the kids and help defeat childhood cancer. It's going to be a somewhat short show. I always say that, but you never know now that we got two people here. But nevertheless, we're just going to talk about one thing, and that's the big race. Some people say the creme de la creme to end the local season, and that's the Prairie Dirt Classic.
Yep.
There we go. So it's tomorrow. Actual the race is 50,000 to win. Modifieds are 5,000. But I guess tonight there's going to be a shootout and showdowns, which you said was basically the heat races, so to
Yeah,
speak.
so they do four feature types. They're basically features. They call them showdowns. Um, it's 5,000 to win. If you win one of those, you're in. You're in the big show for Saturday, I believe, and you win $5,000. So um, I believe, uh, yeah, they're also doing the for Saturday. They're also doing $500 a lap.
Oh
So
wow!
you can also earn up to $100,000.
Oh, I
Um,
remember that they did that last year, didn't they?
well, they did it a couple years. So
Or a couple
one
years
year,
ago.
Brandon Shepard led from green to checkered and won the $100,000. So it is possible.
Right.
Um, but yeah, tonight we'll mostly I'll mostly talk about tonight. So the order of things tonight, as Ben's got there on there, they started early with the breakfast. They have a bago tournament. Like it's a big deal over at Fairbury. I mean, it's
I mean, last night or Wednesday night, I watched a little bit of it, and they had a flow night in America.
yeah.
And do you think that's pretty much the drivers kind of like getting their setups right for the Prairie Dirt or
So the
something to
one,
that effect?
yeah, it's called One for the Road. Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys go to that to set up for Friday and Saturday, but I mean, it's still $20,000 to win.
Right.
So I mean, it's a big race to win. So I mean, you could go to Fairbury this weekend and walk out of there with, $125,000.
Right.
Because you if you win Wednesday night, you won 20 grand. If you win a showdown tonight, that's 5 grand. And if
Right.
you win, if you win the big race, that's 50 grand. And also, if you lead every lap, that's another 50 grand. So
Hundred
you
twenty-five
can win one
thousand
hundred
dollars.
twenty five thousand in one week in 4 days.
Now that would be something for the record books right there. If someone actually did that, that would be really cool.
I don't even make that in a year. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, like tonight, the hot laps start at 5:30. Then qualifying, and then so I have the race program information right here. Um, so they're going to start off with late model hot laps. Then they're going to start off with late model qualifying, Group A and B. Then they're going to go to the modified hot lap / qualifying. So they do the hot lap qualifying, um, and then track prep if needed. And then they go right into the late models showdown feature number one, and then they're going to do late model showdown feature number two, and um, then they're going to do a modified showdown feature one and two, and three, and four. So they're going to do the modified. They're going to do two late model feature showdowns, and then four of the modified feature showdowns, and then they're going to come back and do two more late model showdowns.
Now, do you
Um,
think that would not necessarily ruin it, but make a bigger effect for those 2 late models that are going after everybody's done?
So usually, I mean, yes, the track could be more drier. It could be more dry slick. But honestly, Fairbury likes to do track prep, and they do track prep really fast, and they do it really well.
Yeah, I
So
noticed
my
that
guess,
Wednesday.
yeah. So my guess is they'll do the 2 late model features, and then they'll probably do 2 modified features, and then they'll look at the track. It'd be my guess. And if it needs rework, they'll rework it
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But who knows? They might do the 2 late model showdowns and then do the modified showdowns, and then because it says right here track prep if needed after the 4th modified feature
Right.
showdown, which, like I said, Fairbury wants to put on the show, so they're going to make that track as good as they can for the late
Yeah.
models, because there's been some people upset about the whole modified deal on this. It used to be, anybody could come. Now modifieds are, you have to be invited. And
Yeah.
honestly, I like the idea
Of inviting.
of invite, because the Prairie Dirt Classic back in the day wasn't a big show like this. The Prairie Dirt Classic was the Weekend Warrior big show,
Right.
And they used to do it. They used to do it very last race of the season.
Right.
And then when Matt Curl got involved, he moved it to July and made it to a World of Outlaw race.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the World of Outlaws, they're big on late models. It's not really a modified show. They have made this a late model show. So they're going to, so they're going to make sure that the late models have what they need for a track to put on a show. Going back to the invite only modifieds, they get 70 to 80 to 90 late models.
Right.
For, this weekend. If you don't limit the modifieds, there could be another 60, 70, 80 modifieds show up.
Yeah, it's already packed.
They don't have that much room for all that. I wish they could. I wish they would. But it's almost, and I've said this many times too, Fairbury is almost getting too small for an event like this.
Right.
I mean, and that's not a bad thing. It's
no. And to be honest, the only way they would be able to do it is basically make the backstretch area into pits.
Yeah, but then you're taking away parking.
Which in turn you'd have to park people more somewhere else and then shuttle them back and forth. And I get that part.
Some people think, I'm an idiot for saying this, but I probably won't ever go to another Prairie Dirt Classic and watch it live again. The only way I'm going back to a Prairie Dirt Classic is if, 1, I'm racing in it, or 2, I'm helping somebody. Like somebody asked me, "Hey man, I need you to come help me in the pits."
Yeah, hey Ty, can you be my tire guy?
Yeah, or something like that,
Yeah.
But it's just, me and Grandpa went one year and we stayed the night. We slept in my truck. And it's just, I like it, but it's just, I'm one of those people that I don't like to be too crowded. I don't like to be basically rubbing elbows with the guy sitting next to me.
You don't want to be taking a drink of your beer and your neighbor next to you accidentally bumps you and then you spill it all over yourself.
Yeah. And I always tell people, I watch it from home. My refrigerator is 10 feet away, not 15 feet away at the max.
Yeah, same here.
I can go right in there, grab a beer, come back, sit on my couch, and not have to worry about anybody being right next to me.
Exactly.
Besides maybe a dog.
And a kid or 2.
Yeah, or a kid. But it's just one of those deals where I think it's getting too big for the facility, and that's why they keep, trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to put new stands somewhere?
Minimize it and put new
Yeah.
stands
and that's why they have to limit the modifieds, and there's a lot of people pissed off about that. But you know what, honestly, and people might get mad at me for saying this weekend's not about modifieds.
right.
I mean, yes, it's a big show for the modifieds, and guys like modifieds. I like modifieds. I drive
Yeah.
a B mod, for goodness sake. I mean, I like modifieds.
Yeah.
But the Prairie Dirt Classic is a World of Outlaw late model race. That is the main reason why.
And because it's, and the modifiers are there just as a support class, even though it is a big race for
yes, and
them as well, even though.
Yeah, they've been talking about, I've heard rumors, I'm not saying they're true. They've also talked about not having modifieds at all for the Prairie Dirt Classic. They've talked about just having a late model show.
Well, I mean, those big, huge Lucas ones I've watched the past few weeks, that's all they had was the Lucas Oil late model. They didn't have any supporting classes.
Yeah.
And
like I said, it's
took 3-4 hours to do the whole show.
Yeah, and like I said, the modifieds are a great support class, and
yeah, I agree.
And I think so. So the limited modifieds coming this weekend is good. The modifieds get their shot at towards the end of the year when they do the KC's modified nationals. That's the big modified show. I can't remember how much they're paying for that, but I think it's north of 15 grand, I think, or something like that for the modifieds. That's a big payday for the modifieds. Right. So a lot of people get mad about them limiting modifieds this weekend, but they don't have the space.
Right.
I mean, I've raced at Fairbury sometimes on a weekly show, when they have 4 or 5 classes, when they used to do, the hobby mods, the late models, the modifieds, the street stocks, and the sportsmans, they were running out of room then sometimes. So just think, they're packing in over 140 cars
in that small spot,
in a small space. Matt Curl does a wonderful job doing that.
Right.
And also what sucks is, and I get why he does it, because he makes more money with the campers. But the problem with having so many campers is that actually takes away parking. I mean, I've had to park across the street before.
And like I said, I watched it Wednesday, the Flow Night of Racing, and they were doing aerial shots, and there was not a empty spot anywhere that they showed on the fairgrounds. They even showed the schools where people park and stuff, and those are packed. I didn't see an empty spot there, and people were even on that main road between the school and the fairgrounds. There was people parking on both sides there.
Yeah.
It's just it reminds me of when I went to Eldora in the late 90s. When first time I went with my buddy, we literally had to park on that road a mile down from the track because it was that many people there.
And that's what I mean.
We got there early too.
Yeah. The Prairie Dirt Classic is the World 100 in Central Illinois.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the dream of Central Illinois.
Right.
The Prairie Dirt Classic is one of the prestigious races now to win.
I mean, look, for instance, here's some drivers that are here. You got Pierce. He's technically Lucas Oil, right?
No.
I thought he was doing Lucas Oil stuff.
No, he's running World of Outlaws.
Well, you got Pierce, you got Hoffman, Gustin, Herb, Wilson, Dalton Wilson, McCready, Herb Jr., Tristan Chamberlain. And then you got, the locals like Fager, Spatola.
You'll have Unzinger,
Provenzano.
McKay Winger.
Which, by the way, his wrap for this year is really cool because one of my old time favorites was Roger Long, and he did a tribute rap for Roger, which I thought was
Yeah.
really super cool.
Yeah, but also you'll get these Lucas Oil guys too. I mean, you'll get Brandon Shepard, you'll get
Yeah,
Ricky Thornton probably show up. You'll get,
he
you'll
was
get
there
your
Wednesday. Yeah,
yeah, you'll get your Lucas Oil guys to show up because Lucas Oil is not racing this weekend. Lucas Oil already knew that the Predator Classic is this weekend, and they're like, nope, we're not going against that because I mean, it's just like I
right.
said, it's like the dream. It's like the world. No other series runs that weekend because they're not going to battle against a race that people are going to go to.
And it's the same way with the world. No one ever races at the world except for maybe a couple small tracks where it's
but normally
all
they
weekend
do open
warriors all
wheel.
the time. Yeah, and they're all open wheel too. Yeah,
Usually they do open wheels that like, if let's say
I
Canton was running this weekend, it would be perfect for an open wheel show down
I
there.
think that's what they did. Like last year, a couple years ago, is Spoon did like those midgets,
Yeah. Yeah, they did
the
the mat.
MIRA or not MIRA,
Yeah. IRA.
IRA. It was one of those,
They also have
open
what's called
wheel.
the Badger Midgets, which is out of Wisconsin.
Right.
Sometimes they come down to this far, but like I said, it's just this. This is a big weekend, and then not only for the track, it's for the city too. I mean, the people that come into that city and just, I mean, there's been times where I've heard gas stations have ran out of water.
Because people would
Like,
buy.
yeah, like they've run out of packaged water, and the supermarket runs out of stuff because people just go and buy it, and it's really good for the economy there in Fairbury, and that's the thing is if you have a city that embraces the racetrack, that's what happens. We got
I mean,
talking about other tracks, and some of these other tracks don't have that. They don't have the city that they're in really embrace the racetrack, because
right.
if anybody lives in Fairbury and doesn't like Fairbury or for the Speedway, they're silly, because
They're silly. Did you? He froze. So, but yeah, I get that. Because I remember years and years ago, I was at Fairbury actually working for him, and they're like, "Yeah, we got someone complaining about us being too loud," and I'm like, "Well, what time do we finish?" About 11:30, and it's like, "Oh, okay, that's not too horrible." Yeah, but come to find out, apparently they just moved in like not even a year ago, like right after the season stopped, so they didn't know it was going to be this loud. And I'm like, okay, first of all, if you move to a place, shouldn't you be able to figure out what the economy's like so you know where to go and, different things like that? And they're like, yeah. And it's like, well, that'd be one of the first things I'd do is see what entertainment's in the city.
Yeah. And like I said, it amazes me how some people will just complain about anything. And like I said, if they're complaining about a speedway that brings more than probably $1 million to that city this whole week, because
Yeah.
I remember when the Predator Classic was only a Friday Saturday deal.
I'm old enough to remember it was only a Saturday.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember when it was just a Saturday. Like I said, it was the last race of the season.
Yeah, and I remember those.
How's it going, Wade?
What's up, Wade? But yeah, like I said, I remember that too because you said it's been a while since you and Gramps been there, and it's probably been just as long because the last time I went, I think it was only the first day, and even then, it was almost overwhelmingly packed for me then.
Yeah, we went.
I get what you're saying about how
the last Predator Classic we went to. I'm trying to remember who won it. I want to say it was Jonathan Davenport when he kind of roughed up Herb coming out of 4. I think that was the last Predator Classic that I've actually been to. But But I remember as a kid going to the Prairie Dirt Classic every year when it was just a Saturday deal. Towards the end, it was like one of the last races of the season. I remember that.
Now, did Killer ever race that at all?
No, Grandpa never raced the Prairie Dirt Classic.
Okay.
He was one of the smart ones. He said, I couldn't compete with any of those type of guys, and
and he just couldn't compete, and he's
I mean, it's just we're a small race team, man. I mean, we get by what we have.
He more or less had a steel block where all these guys had the aluminum blocks with better motors and stuff, probably, right?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, these guys have $50,000, $60,000 just in the motor.
Alone, yeah. But so this is Saturday's schedule, as you can see on there. Again, a breakfast at the VFW. Staging lines for general admission opens up, and gates open up early, and
yeah, I mean, if you want a general admission, you got to go early. I remember one year we got there at like 8:30, and we got lucky. We got to park inside the fence.
We
got there Friday morning, and it was packed.
Right. So the 2-day, because of prices, if you want to get there, which I guarantee you this, you probably won't be able to camp, and you probably won't be able to get your golf cart, because I guarantee you, by the way it looked like Wednesday, it's packed already. But anyway, 2-day Prairie Dirt Classic general admission is $75 for 2 days. $95 for pit passes. Friday only is $35. Pit passes Friday only is $45. And if you want to just go on Saturday, it's $45 for general admission and $55. And that's everybody. That's even kids. So from what I read. So if you want to, that's another reason why Ty don't want to go, because that's literally $180 just in tickets alone to take his family.
Well, and like I said, it's not the money that is the issue. It's just the
overcrowdingness.
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm not a fan of people very much. So, I mean, it's just a lot, you're just, excuse the saying, but like nut to butt to people, and it's just I don't like being that close to people. I like to be able to stretch out a little bit, and like I said, I always told my wife, if I ever go back to a Prairie Dirt Classic, even if I'm not racing in it or helping somebody, I'm buying a pit pass, 100%. I'm buying a pit pass.
It's $10 way more.
I can go, I can walk around, I can go, sit in the stands in the pits if I need to or want to. I can stand all night if I want to, and I'm free to roam wherever I want to go.
The two times I went to the World, that's what I did, because it was like $10 more for the pit pass. So I may as well spend the extra $10 and, just like you said, walk around the pits, and I get that part. But like you said, it's like, so if you want to watch it tonight, you can go there. But if you don't want to actually be around people, you're not a people person, but you still like dirt track racing, it's going to be on Dirt Vision tonight and tomorrow night.
Yep.
That's why we're doing the show this early, is so that way you guys can go straight into watching it.
Yeah, it starts about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So, but, I agree with Ty with that one, because of my physical limitations, it's going to be hard for me to move around and then have to walk because I'm not up front. And so, like he said, refrigerator's 15 feet away. You got all your drinks and snacks there, and then you got your bathroom that's going to be clean the whole time. You don't have to worry about someone,
pissing all over the toilet seat.
pissing all over the toilet seat and whatnot.
Shitting all over the toilet seat.
That too, and you don't have to worry about spending $5 for a 12-ounce bottle of beer, and
Yeah.
I mean, it don't get me wrong personally. It is a great race when you go see it in person. It's just if you're not a people person and don't like people like bumping into you, probably not a good way to go.
But yeah, speaking of if Wade's still listening, I am still working on possibly doing a special hockey show.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
There's been a lot of signings, a lot of other stuff happening in the league. So check out our Facebook page. Keep informed on that. I need to get a hold of Wade anyway. And
yeah, that looks like it's going to be pretty cool because there's going to be a couple new teams this season, and then 2 more seasons there's going to be another one. So in 2 seasons there's going to be 3 more teams, I heard.
Yeah, and possibly another team might be coming next year. So who knows? I mean, the FPHL I think made a lot of people mad when they got I think 2 California teams. So those guys are going to have to travel even more. So some of those teams, they might not be able to afford the travel. So the SPHL kind of helps with that. They don't like to make people travel very much.
And that's why all those teams are in one area.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, they're spread out now. I mean, because the most north is the Quad City Storm.
Right.
And then Peoria is the second most north team.
And then they're trying to get my back's hurting, but they're trying to get someone in Iowa, aren't they?
Yeah,
Iowa. Have someone in Iowa?
Well, the Iowa Heartlanders are no more. They didn't say they were done completely with hockey. So,
gotcha.
And then Wade just said, cool stuff happening, big Riverman news this weekend. Yeah, I'm waiting.
Nice.
So, Wade, if you want to personally message me that news, I won't share it. You know how I am with that. But I did read that on Facebook. But yeah, no, I got to come up with a day. It'll be in the near future. We'll do a special hockey show and kind of talk about what's going to happen this year. Like I said, there's been some signings that we probably should announce.
Signings announcing.
I will say my internet is pissing me off. But
and another sad but good thing for the Rivermen is their announcer moved up, right?
Yep. There we will be getting a new radio broadcaster, and we'll see who that might be. But I will say one thing: if any hockey fans are listening, Alec Bear will be back as captain, so he will be back for this coming up season. But yeah, no, we'll have a special in the next couple, hopefully maybe in the next couple weeks. Like I said, stay tuned to our Facebook page for that.
Yep. And
other than that, Ben, there was something else.
Couple more things. Again, thanks everybody. If you're watching, I know Wade is, but anyway, I challenge you to watch last time's show to learn about Wrestling for a Cure, because that's something that helps the kids out. And seriously, I know the guys personally who run it. Ty knows them a little bit. As you heard if you watched it or rebroadcast of it, he literally says they don't get a cent from that. It all goes straight to the children's hospital for cancer research for the kids. They spend all their own money to buy the belts, rent out the rings. They have a sponsor that every year at the beginning of the season, they hand them a check so they can rent out the Illinois building at the state fairgrounds.
Yes.
So It's something to get into, something to help, and especially if you love wrestling, it's a win-win. And the thing is, when they actually do their show, so to speak, at the state fairgrounds, it's only $5, and they don't even get any of that. All those $5, so you could take your family of four for $20 and go in and watch wrestling for 2 or 3 hours.
And all that money goes to St. Jude.
Yeah,
which is a very good.
All I know, he even said all the wrestlers, they don't ask to be paid. They want to do this for free.
Yeah.
So
no, it's a good cause.
I was listening.
I was listening to the last show, and like I said, I want to thank Jason Wilhite for coming on and explaining.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have him on again to kind of explain
the upcoming season
and see what they got, coming up. So, because like I said, St. Jude helps a lot of families and a lot of kids, and it's a good charity. I try to give as much as I can for that charity, because like I said, they change lives, and it's very good to see.
Speaking of the last, but certainly not least, speaking of one more memorial, it's not till August 1st, which is next weekend, but the Keith Siegel Memorial Race for E-Mods, Super Late Models, Modifieds, Crown Vics, and Hornets. It's being moved from Peoria since Peoria is no more. And with the blessing of Jenna and the family, their Spoon was like, yeah, we'll do it for you. And despite what the losers say, not losers, the naysayers, I should say. Anyway, my point being is the family's cool with it. The family wants this to be done to memorialize him. And despite whatever happened, just keep it to yourself. But anyway, my point being is this is a good race. Last year, this was really good. So hopefully being at Spoon, it'll be maybe a little bit bigger and different because it's a way different track. So more E-Mods will probably want to come up and race the track. And I think it's going to be a good one. And like it says there, E-Mods get $6,600 or $668 to win. It was a little bit more last year. But anyway, my point being is it's going to be a good race. Just follow us on our social medias. And again, Prairie Dirt Classic this weekend. Watch it on
Dirt Vision.
Dirt Vision. I keep getting those two mixed up. Why? I do not know.
About 15 minutes.
In about 15 minutes. So with that said, we'll see you next time. And hopefully see you at a track.